All right, hey guys, welcome back to Tactical Rifleman. We're here on our sister channel, TR Live. You notice I'm not in the stereo. I got Seaux Lareaux here with us, and we just checked in our hotel room. Who's in a different room, actually. He's just here hanging out with y'all. And anyways, we are down in Texas. We are doing a tactical precision rifle course, starts tomorrow. And anyways, we've been busy. We actually went to Primary Arms today and did a big tour of their factory, their facility. Totally badass it was. We had a great time. I know you guys got a bunch of great questions for us. So I'm busy. I'm out of town, not in our studio. I love you guys. I do. So this is a chance for us to interact. I hope you guys are willing to interact with us. Real quick, though, I want to go over our sponsor tonight, USCCA. You guys see I got Donut keeps plugging our referral link in there. The good stuff, guys, join USCCA. That allows you to gain that education, the training, and that prepare you for what happens before, during, but also more importantly, after that act of self-defense. Understand you got internal ballistics inside the gun. You've got external ballistics, that bullet flying through the air, terminal ballistics inside the enemy's body. But understand that bullet's passing right through him into the jury pool. You defend your family with a firearm in this libtard world that we live in. You're going to court. USCCA is there to help you out. And so anyway, become that prepared protector that you need to be with a USCCA membership. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm always happy to have them sponsoring us here. You guys know the deal. If you got a question, you'll notice we have Super Chat turned off. I didn't turn it. It's Carl Erickson. They've said there's something wrong with your account. There's nothing wrong with my account, guys, but they are saying something magically got changed. So now I can't monetize anything. You'll notice they're probably still going to put advertisements on your video, though, but that's okay. If you're here watching it tomorrow, just understand, I think all the moderators at YouTube should come right between deer and turkey season. That's right. That's right. But if you guys have questions, legitimate questions, you know the deal. We've got our moderators. My moderators are going to take care of us. They will pull questions, and then they send them to me. I've got all these people texting me right now saying that Manny Martin is ready. These guys are ready to go, my moderators. Jamie's good to go. Bob, I get shit done. Carl, just like you, brother. Awesome. So you guys want to see it? My Jeep. I don't know if you guys can see that, but my Jeep just came back to my house today. I had to have the rear diff. Yeah, I know. I blew the diff up. I bent the rear axle, a whole bunch of stuff. Anyways, it's ready. It's ready to go. And later this month, 31 May, I'm taking the wife out, and we are going to Windrock up in the Smoky Mountains. Best off-road driving east of the Mississippi. And we are going to have us a great, great time with some of our fellow Tactical Rifleman Nation people here. We're going to have us a great, I think we got 5 Jeeps are coming. It's going to be a great time, great time. So anyway, Sue, what's new with you, brother? What's new with you?
I just want to say that I'm back in the game. I've after SHOT Show, I had a medical issue there, driving with Emory. And if anybody's ever been in a car for more than a few hours with Emory, it would give anybody a heart attack. So
it started with a heart attack.
Well, I scared. We scared. I was actually showing him where I got married on my first marriage in Winslow, Arizona. So
that would cause your heart rate to go up.
Yeah, like the Eagles song. I saw that woman in the flatbed Ford, ended up marrying her. So when she slowed down and take a look at me. But anyway, that was years ago, and I was telling Emory that it's pretty good until the divorce. But I guess I got stressed out and. We ended up going to the emergency room there, and they said, "Hey, you're having a heart attack, and we're going to do a flight for life down to Phoenix so you can get in the VA and everything." Didn't happen. Snowstorm came in. They took me to Flagstaff, and I was right across the street from where my ex-wife now currently lives.
Okay.
So that was an interesting 4 days. And the current wife came out to, protect me and everything, but Emory stuck by my side. I got
Emory's good people. Emory's good people.
And he got me back got me back to North Carolina. I was supposed to be sharing a ride with him, and he helped me drive the SHOT Show last year, so I was supposed to help him drive back this year, and it just turned into a total foobar. But we stopped at my uncle's ranch, and had a good time. But once I got home, things just went bad to worse, and they thought I had cancer for a while. And
why though? They did an X-ray, guys. They found a big golf ball sized mass,
huge mass in my right side of my lung here and everything, which
we were worried about.
Was where the pain was.
Yeah,
I thought heart attack, and the doctors. But at least I got everything checked out. Heart is good, even though my father and my brother both died of massive heart attacks. There's no blockage. Carl and I have done real good about, and we all have. We're our old jobs, we train like athletes and we watch what we ate and things like that. So there's no blockage in my arteries or anything. Heart's good. And it turned out that this cancer is actually called valley fever. It's a fungal infection that comes from a plant that grows in the desert between sea level and 1,000 feet.
I thought you were going to say from eating at the Y.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Same thing.
Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I must have been crawling out there.
Continue, sir. Didn't mean to interrupt.
But there's only a few places. There's only a few places in the country that you can actually get this thing. And it's around the Phoenix area, or Niland, California, or Death Valley, California. Where the elevation's real low, but in a desert conditions. And according to the internet or Wikipedia, only 1% of the population out there ever gets it. And of course, Suda sucks to be me, LaRue. I pick it up. So, but at least I had a good doctor out there in where I live, out in the Smoky Mountains by Cherokee, North Carolina. And we got a second opinion from Duke Medical, and these fungal antibiotics I've been on for months now. I've done a good job, and that mass is down to pretty much gone.
He's not allowed to drink any alcohol, none, which means I don't get to have any alcohol.
I'm almost finished with the Book of Mormon, though. So any of you ladies out there want to join the harem, let me know.
That's what you need. A sixth and seventh wife.
Yeah, fourth and fifth wife. So anyway, I appreciate everybody's support, and
we sent a lot of prayers his way, didn't we, guys? We did. We've been worried about you, Sue.
I saw
We've
them.
Been worried about
I saw them, and I just want to show or tell everybody that I'm really grateful for you guys' prayers and your well wishes. I appreciate everything.
That's awesome. That's all. I see Karen just rolled in here. Karen's one of the girls going off-roading with me and my wife. Her husband. We got Mickey going. I keep getting all these texts from Mickey and her husband Toby talking about how all the mods they've been doing to their Jeeps. I think Mickey's going to be on 40-inch tires by the time we leave. Crazy. That's okay. Awesome. First question in from you guys. Semper Paratus. Are people who say bipods should be wobbly so you can load them up better full of it? What they're talking about is precision shooting, all right? Precision rifle course. Notice they don't say accurate rifle course, because everybody wants to be accurate. You want to be able to, in order to knock down that 1 mile steel target, you need to be accurate. Well, how do you be accurate? You've got to have precisely loaded ammo that's milled very precisely and has a very precisely measured powder charge, everything. You've got to have a precision-made rifle barrel. A decent optic helps, but more important than anything else is the mammal that is hooked on the back of that rifle. The better trained that mammal is, understand anytime he moves his shoulders left, right, up, down, if he breathes wrong, if he does this, if he does that, if you're holding it a certain way, you can actually telegraph your pulse into the gun. And when you're shooting at a mile, that's a big deal. So to be accurate, you need precision. Precision is not just things being made precisely. Precision is consistency. In other words, those bullets are all made consistently the same way. But it's not just the ammo, it's not just the gunpowder, it's not just the barrel. It's, again, the biggest variable is the monkey, that mammal that you're hooking on the back of the gun. So you need to, everything has got to be consistent every shot. And a big part of that, and what they found, Todd Hodnett, and then when he came out with Accuracy First, he was a cowboy action shooter. He bought the best stuff, went out and tried to shoot at a mile. He couldn't hit nothing. And what he found was just sitting the bipod with zero load on it. In other words, it was just sitting with just the weight of the gun on it. Sometimes it would be pushed a little bit this way, sometimes a little bit that way. So
or whether bounce on recoil.
Yeah. Now, whether you're loading it one way or another doesn't really matter. What matters is you're loading it the same way every time. So whether it's the guys that say, well, you need a loose, sloppy bipod. No, you need a bipod that can be loaded. In other words, you're just putting a little bit of force on it. By the way, that's every bipod. I've never met a bipod that can't be loaded. Some load better than others, right? The advantage of a Harris is it's actually canted back a little bit. So when you do load it, now it's vertical and just past center. And when it goes off, it recoils basically straight back before it actually drops. The Atlas, and I'm a big fan of B&T Industries. Casey Belt's my best friend. His is perfectly vertical. So when you load it hard, if you load heavily load your bipods, you've actually you've lowered the front a little bit. Then when it goes off, that recoil, it actually raises the front of the gun a little bit. I'm not real big on that. So, and I love the Atlas bipods. I love Casey, but I want him to make one that is loaded forward at like 5 degrees, because I load my bipods about 5 degrees. It doesn't matter whether you load it hard, load it with just a little bit of weight lightly. I don't care if you negative load your bipods. What matters is that you do it consistently the same way every time. So yeah, that decent question. And we're going to get deep into that stuff this class. Again, it starts tomorrow, tactical precision rifle. And it's not about just plinking at steel and having fun. These guys are going to be, it starts off boring because we get into all the laws of physics and how they affect this bullet. But a lot of it is not just putting the crosshairs right in the middle of the guy's, between his eyes. It's calculating what are all those environmental factors out there. How are they going to affect the trajectory of the bullet? So we start off including mirage, the heat waves, and how the light is reflecting off of things. And, obviously we get into temperature, right? The hotter the air is, the more the air molecules are spread out, thinner air, less drag on the bullets. It's not going to drop as fast. It's going to fly flatter. Same thing, humidity, barometric pressure, altitude above sea level. All these things affect the external ballistics of the round. And again, we're going to get into the effects of the different models, whether it's a G1 projectile model or a G7 projectile model. We're going to get into internal ballistics, all this stuff, and we are going to shoot. We're going to do grouping drills, all kinds of stuff. We're going to get out to about the limit of these guys. We've got some great ranges. We're out there at Tiger Valley. We're going to be doing shooting on the assault countdown. We're going to be doing, there's a night shoot. I've got thermals and Gen 3 I squared there, clip-ons and dedicated night scopes. We're going to be doing, moving targets, unknown distance, snaps, bunch of great stuff. And what's hard for me and Sue, my other instructors, is most of your sniper schools, the shortest one I've ever been to is 4 weeks, longest one 9 weeks. And understand you do most of your learning of the art of sniper at your unit. You get the bare minimum at school, but it takes a lot of time to teach it. So I've got these students for 2 days.
That's a good segue into what I want to say, guys, is when you talk about loading bipods and things like that, remember that's a flat range, right? and you're in a prepared position. And we've used prepared positions in combat and things like that. But when you talk about the ratio of long distance shots and things like that, for all the time that you're putting into the bipod and all the concentration and effort you're putting into loose bipod versus a rigid bipod or things like that, I like to say get back to basics. Whether you're hunting or you're trying to do train for a defensive mode or something like that, what I've found in my looking back on my experience is 80% of the time you're not going to be returning lead on a two-way range from a flat groomed range, or you're not deloading the bipods. So as much time as you spend on loading those bipods, get up in a sitting position, get above the grass, do your shooting sticks, or do your what we call them, the kind of your day pack. Put your rifle on your day pack, because when you're returning fire, a lot of times you're not in a position where you can get low and use your bipods at all. Bipods are great. Don't get me wrong. The bipods are great to have, especially when you're laying behind that rifle for a while. But spend as much time returning that fire accurately and with some precision in other positions where you're up out of the grass and you can see it over. You don't have any obstacles in front of you.
We use the word tactical at the beginning of this course, tactical precision rifle, because you got the whole precision rifle series out there, which is like 3-gun in NASCAR for precision rifle. You got your old guys that can't compete in 3-gun anymore, so they slow down. They're slower, so now they compete in precision rifle, and that's awesome and all. But I actually heard one guy once say, man, I would have made a great sniper in the military because I just outshot all the Ranger snipers. Understand, you're doing precision rifle. These are steel targets on a perfectly mowed range. And there's a lot different stuff that snipers have to deal with. Anyways, I'm not bashing precision rifle series. It's like shooting 3-gun or USPSA. Competition's fun, but understand playing Army is not the same as being Army, right?
Or hunting. You get that elk shot. Yeah. That position you're laying on with their bipods, and that bull elk comes up over here, and there's tall grass there. You want to be able to set up or put it on your day pack and make just as well a shot and take down your elk and take it to the taxidermist.
The Gus Stash 2531, his mom must have had a rotten box about this big if she had 2,531 children. Holy cow, she's got to number them. Wow. She just called it. Did she abbreviate it and just call you 31, or was it 2531? Anyway, I don't mean to bash your mom. I'm sure she was hot to somebody.
Mother's Day. Good job.
Yeah. His question, getting sidetracked here. Sir, I like to keep up with the best medical gear. I currently carry a Cat 7. Are there any new tourniquets out there that are better? No. As of right now, to me personally, if you're going to go with a Cat tourniquet, Gen 7, the Cat 7, to me, that is the best tourniquet. It's what all my instructors, we run on our gun belts. The soft T-wide is one of there's actually 3 or 4 tourniquets now that are approved by the Academy of TCCC, the board, TCCC board. You guys know I'm a big fan of the Rapids, or a lot of you guys remember as being called the RATS tourniquet. Travis Hall actually designed it. It's not the best for you to put on yourself, especially big thighs, big back bleeders. It's just not. You're going to have a hard time getting it tight enough by yourself. The Cat will be better for that. Cat 7, Cat 7, Cat 7. So why do I carry a Rapids tourniquet a lot? There are a lot of times. Now, if I'm going to be out running the chainsaw, I bring a Cat 7 with me. But most of the time, I'm just running a Rapids tourniquet, and that's because it is a better tourniquet for canines and children. And you understand, I don't have any friends. I have to pay Sue to come on this trip. Sue is getting paid to be here tomorrow. And actually, Sue's being paid to be here today. I don't have any friends on my hill. So if I go outside to go wander around, to go visit my bees or my fruit tree orchard, My only friends are my dogs. My wife won't even come with me. So I'm out there with all of my friends, and that's why a lot of times you'll see me just carrying a Rapids tourniquet. There are other tourniquets out there, the Ranger Ratchet, which literally just goes back to when the Ranger battalions didn't have any Cat 7s or soft T wides. They were buying ratchet straps, the little ones from Walmart, and they were cutting them up and they were making their own tourniquet, and they hurt. They hurt bad, but it's better than nothing. There's a couple more tourniquets that I've been testing out. Travis Hall's been testing out. We talked about them in our tactical rifleman medical course. We just did one a few weeks ago. If you look at my calendar, you'll see I don't have any other ones on the calendar for the rest of the year. And here's why. Right before Sue got diagnosed with cancer, thank God it wasn't, Travis Hall was actually diagnosed with cancer and was confirmed he has it. So Travis, we weren't sure Travis was going to be here the rest of the year. But according to Travis, he would like to put on more medical classes for the rest of the year. I'm like, Roger that. Let's start with one in the fall because it takes time to advertise. And then we'll do like one a quarter next year. So if you guys want to get on tactical rifleman, tactical combat casualty care course, I mean, we even get it all the way into a needle decompression treatment of a tension pneumothorax. Most of your stop the bleed courses do not do that. They don't. Travis is big on arming you guys with the knowledge. That's his thing. So we get deep into tourniquets there. But Stash, one of the things that bothered me about your comment here was I like to keep up with the best medical gear. That's okay, but I don't, and this goes for all you guys, I don't want you to be that gear dude that is just chasing the best equipment. Any gun will work, all right? Any gun will work. Any tourniquet will work. More important, I want you to chase the best training. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a trainer. Medical training, you understand it doesn't matter if you've got $10,000 worth of medical equipment at your house. Well, you're out Christmas shopping and some old Korean War vet lands his Cessna airplane in the food court and it's a mass casualty. It doesn't matter how many guns you have, and it doesn't matter how much medical gear you have home in your attic. What matters, they're in the food court with pieces of broken airplane laying everywhere, and the movie just came out. It's a mass casualty situation. What matters is the medical knowledge and the presence of mind that you have.
The basics.
The basics.
Knowing what you got to do.
Yeah, you don't need to know how to suture, guys. A lot of my preppers, they go to these prepper conventions, survival conventions, and they take the little seminars on how to suture. They'll have like ham hocks there, and you can suture how to tie a surgeon's knot. Now, guys, understand if you're in a world where society is broken down and there's no higher echelons of medical care, you've got a big cut open wound. You clean it out the best you can, but you don't want to be sewing it shut. You want to do what's called a delayed primary closure, where you let it slowly heal up from the inside, and that keeps it from getting infected. And that is more important for you to learn how to do properly, how to do a delayed primary closure, than you learning how to suture. So I got it. It's the latest hotness. You got to clean it. Got to clean it. So good stuff. Susan's pitched me another question here. Wow, we're falling behind already. That's kind of cool. All right. Next one's from Prepper 101. Does having two bipods on your rifle give you an advantage? Yeah, I mean, if you put one bipod on the bottom and then you have another bipod on the top going up, and all of a sudden the ATF throws that switch on the wall where gravity all of a sudden switches, and now you float up to the roof of the room that you're in. That way you've already got a bipod pointed in that direction. Now, guys, don't put two bipods on your gun. You see that look, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Sue's like, dude, I was like, I so hadn't heard of that. Now, I would run a monopod on the back. A lot of times snipers will run with what's called a beanbag. a sandbag on the back of their gun. You squeeze that bean bag, and we brought all ours from that have been Iraq, Afghanistan. They're all out in the truck right now. You squeeze that sandbag. Mine's actually a bean bag. It's got beans in it. They're actually black-eyed peas, I think. So I could eat it in hindsight if I needed to. You squeeze it, and it raises the rear of the gun. That lowers your crosshairs down. If you need to raise the front of the gun, you relax your grip a little bit. The beanbag settles. And it's a technique that snipers have been using basically forever, same as a bipod. We used to not run bipods. The old M21 sniper weapon system, based off of the accurized M14, did not have a bipod mount on the front. It had it was a wooden stock with a leather sling. You know, you didn't use a bipod. You shot off of sandbags. Bipods give you a little more flexibility. And but yeah, I've been taught. I'm old. I'm not that old, but guys, I'm 55. You're coming up on 60, aren't you?
I'll be 60 this summer.
60 this summer. I'll be 56 this summer. God, Sue, where did life go? Where did life go?
We weren't supposed to live this long.
Yeah, amen to that. That said, I don't get me wrong. I've done everything I want to do on this planet. If I was to die today, I've done everything I wanted to do, but that doesn't mean I want to die tonight. Let's not do it.
And I need your opinion out there, guys. At 60 years old, don't I still look like Opie Taylor on the old reruns on Andy Griffith show? Still look pretty young. Even Ron Howard lost all his hair.
I was thinking he looked like Uncle Jesse from Dukes of Hazzard, you know. All right, Joe Block. Hi, Carl. The primary arms 1X micro prism. What's your opinion on the 1 MOA adjustments? Is it difficult to get good zero for a 100, 300 yard? Did primary arms mention doing a half MOA clicks on the in the future? Here's the deal, and you guys know I don't watch other guys' videos. I don't watch other guys' videos.
We're too busy for that.
Yeah. No, I don't want people saying, well, Carl copied somebody else's stuff. I don't do that, but I listen when I'm at like these events, SHOT Show, everything else, and there were a couple guys that were saying, oh yeah, man, that 1X micro prism, it sucks because all it's got is 1 MOA adjustments. 1 MOA adjustments, and that freaking sucks. They need half MOA. He's saying it, and this other guy's saying, and you understand, these are, and I'm not bashing them, but a lot of them were like, I don't know, in the Air Force. A lot of them were never in the military. They're only in the military a little, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. My opinion, and I'm not saying my opinion is any more important than anybody else's, but I'm saying my opinion is based on 40 years behind these guns. All right. A lot of time, not just in the military doing this, but you understand all my time in the military was behind sniper rifles, precision rifles, but also ARs, but with the focus on accuracy. Now their gripe with the 1 MOA clicks, well, you can't properly zero it, because if bullseye is right between 2 clicks, you're screwed. Hear me out. All right. It is a 1X micro prism. It's the one that I run on my work gun.
Yeah.
Guys, you understand? I have an EOTech. I don't know how many aim points and other optics I have. I put the 1X micro prism on it to beat it to death, and it's still on my gun. I like it. I mean, I like it a lot. Here's why the 1 MOA clicks don't bother me. I do a 200 meter zero, right? Because that's point blank for 5.56. The bullet for a head size target, 5.56. Because once you pull that trigger, everybody's gone prone. That's just the truth. Everybody goes prone. Now the military, they're fighting on a modern battlefield, 300 meter, 40-inch E-types, and Sue's going to get deep into that over the next couple of days with our guys at Precision Rifle. But two-way gunfight with ARs, you've got heads popping up over vehicles. You've got people coming around walls. This is a fluid gunfight. You don't have time for range estimation. You need a point blank zero. Now, point blank zero is determined off of the size of your target for an acceptable hit. And for me, for combat, I need headshots 10 inches. For me, arc of my 5.56 round, that's 10 inches. Can't rise more or drop more than 5 inches. If I do a 200 meter zero, I'm good from end of the barrel to about 220, 230 meters. That's the truth. That's the truth.
Little low, little high.
That's what I run. 200 meters, 200 meter zero. At 200 meters, a click only moves that bullet 2 inches. It only moves it 2 inches, guys. So if you can shoot remember all these guns, and everybody wants half MOA guns. It's an AR. So you should be helpful. LaRue says they're all half MOA. No, they're not. Right. But understand, at a 2 MOA gun, which sounds very inaccurate, that's still a 4-inch shot group. 4 inches, guys. I know, Sue, your wife tells you that that's 8 inches. That's not actually 8 inches. Right. That 4-inch shot group. You understand? That's a good shot group for 200 meters. 4-inch shot group.
Even for a headshot.
Yeah. Even for a headshot. Now, if I move that 2 inches, guys, you can't even see 2 inches at 200 meters. You can't see 2 inches. You're seeing a head. You're seeing a torso. Unless you're running a magnifier, you're not seeing 2-inch correction. So,
back in the day, now go back and take that nail or that point of that bullet and move that front sight post and see what that gives you.
Now,
your micro prisms do a lot better than what we had.
Yeah. Now, one more thing on half MOA corrections versus 1 MOA. You guys understand how these work, right? It's a revolving threaded adjuster. Now, in order to make it go from 1 MOA clicks to half MOA, which I know that's the latest hotness, that's what everybody wants, to make that thread go from 1 MOA to half MOA, they can't just change the numbers on the dial. They've got to make the threads twice as fine. Making things smaller. We saw a lot of that today at their factory. To make things smaller like that, jeweled even more, because if you've seen the 1X micro prism, it's already insanely small. It's very, very small. They'd have to make the turrets taller, and they'd have to make the threads smaller. And smaller threads are just you're adding more weakness to it. And what I like about the 1X micro prism, one, if your battery dies, it's got an etched reticle. But 2, guys, come ask people that have been to my class. Every class, I'm dropping this thing, the whole rifle, on the optic on the gravel. And my optics are all messed up. But I do this so that you guys don't have to do it, right? I do it so you don't have to. So I did not bring it up with primary arms because I know other people are already asking them. And honestly, I don't want them to do it. I don't want them to mess with that thing at all. Focus on something new and better, but don't change things that are not broken. All right, wobbly this, wobbly that. All right, here we go. Mike Quigley. Carl, who you bringing to the 2CK9 event this weekend? Brother, I can't make it. I want to go. I do. But Saturday morning is our 5th Special Forces Group Gold Star ceremony, where if you guys don't know what a Gold Star is, when a family deploys, if you have a loved one that deploys, a lot of time, this goes all the way back to World War II, a proud mom or proud wife would make a little flag, red, white, and blue flag to hang up in the window of her house. It was red with a white background, red on the sides, and she would put a blue star to show, hey, my husband, my son is deploying to fight for our country. If you had 2 sons over the year, you'd have 2 stars.
Wife and I have 2 stars hanging around right now. We have 2 sons.
He's got 2 sons in the military.
They're deployed all the time.
The movie Saving Private Ryan smoked. They show in the window the flag with 4 stars on it because she had 4 sons that were all fighting over there. If a family loses a loved one overseas, if Sue was, and I pray to God it doesn't happen, I won't even use you as an example. In the movie, when that mom lost those 3 sons, mom takes gold thread and she replaces all the blue thread with a golden star. And it's kind of a badge of honor. My family made the ultimate sacrifice for your freedom, and you suck because nobody from your family had the balls to join the military. Unfortunately, when I first got the 5th group back right after Desert Storm, there was only a few trees planted on Gabriel Field. They were on one side. Most of them were training accidents, and we lost a whole Halo team. They set the altimeters wrong. They were jumping into the mountains from Fort Bragg, and they, instead of putting it up 9,000 feet, they put it down 9,000 feet. It was an 18,000 foot mistake on their altimeters, and they lost the whole Halo team. The whole Halo team plowed into the ground, whole row of trees. That sucks. And I would go out there and I would read all these, what happened and everything. And you go out there now, because we lost guys during the global war on terror. Captain Tarlowski was in my company, A15. Marcus Foster, you knew Marcus. We all knew Marcus, great guy. We have lost guys from time, and not a lot. Green Berets have a very high success rate, but we have a lot of deployments also. And eventually you throw the dice enough times, eventually it comes up snake eyes. And that field is a freaking forest now. They ran out of it, and now it has multiple rows.
That goes back to my history. I had to mow that field with a push mower. And
because for being a dumbass, he's in trouble.
Now you almost need a push mower to get between all the trees.
So every year, every June, they do what's called the Gold Star ceremony. They bring all the families in of the fallen veterans, but it's more there to honor the newly fallen guys. You know, hey, we lost one guy this year. This is his wife's first time at a Gold Star ceremony. All the other families are there. And there's a lot of support, a lot of fond memories of the guys sharing. We go have a few shots for them and everything. That is Saturday morning. And this particular year, they are doing a little extra something for all the Vietnam vets from 5th group. You understand? That's the MACV-SOG guys. So you guys all know John Stryker Myers. We've had him on our live stream a few times. He's done a few videos for us. For my patrons, you saw that Sue did a story time 1 month, just available on Patreon, but he did it with another MACV-SOG guy called John Mullins. John Mullins a little older than John Stryker Myers. He's one of the original MACV-SOG guys. He went on to do CIA stuff, got bored with the CIA, and then went on and did all this other stuff.
Worked for RUAG.
Yeah.
Ammunition development. He's the one that actually invented the frangible ammunition that I worked so hard on to try to finish.
They are coming up for the Gold Star ceremony, and Sue approached him, hey, you're coming up here. Why don't we get together with Carl? And he reached out to me, and he's like, hey, Carl, you understand, John Mullins is getting a little older. We're going to lose these heroes. Let's try to record some stuff with them.
Let's capture some of the experiences they had to share with you guys.
So while I'm because we're driving home Friday from class here. It's a 12-hour drive, guys. We're going to get home late Friday night. Saturday morning, we got to get up early. You got to dress up nice. We're going to go to the Gold Star ceremony. Well, we are there. My son is going to move a bunch of the furniture in the man room, set up all the lighting, and we're going to set up a few of the bar stools. And we're going to bring, after the Gold Star ceremony, we're going to bring these MACV-SOG guys up. We're going to spend the afternoon filming whatever he wants to talk about, literally whatever he wants to talk about. And then I'm going to have a few other more recent SF guys. They're going to run the grill. They're already going to have steaks, spirits around the bonfire. We're going to show these guys. We're going to honor these MACV-SOG guys and thank them for coming up and thank them for, giving everything that they did for us and making us better. Because we learned a lot from the MACV-SOG guys. There was a big break in combat between Vietnam and you was Desert Storm combat. It was, but only for certain units. A lot of units didn't do anything in Desert Storm except eat MREs, right? But there was a big break from Vietnam to the global war on terror. Couple brush fires here and there, Panama, Grenada. Yeah, you're literally that old. Wow. Crazy. Anyways,
but look at the things.
That's what we're doing. So
if you look back at what the MACV-SOG guys did, it took a few decades, but look at the M4. MACV-SOG was running the Car 15, the shortened M16 stoner version, clear back in Vietnam, and it had to be improved upon a little bit. But now, if your son joins the military, he gets an M4, which is a pretty good assault rifle. There's always improvements you can make on it, but it still does the job. I
want to go to, and if you guys are going to be around Nashville, I encourage you to go to Travis Hall's Second Chance K9 event. He's doing a big fundraiser down there, and it is awesome. It really is awesome. You think he remembered that we're in the middle of a live stream right now? Yeah, man, Wick, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing just fine, man. I just came back from the range.
Hey, do you know you're on the live stream with me right now? You've got 131, man. 131 and brothers are listening to you.
All right. Well, I'm going to say good night to you, Carl.
You forgot we were doing a live stream, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I forgot that you would answer right away.
Hey, Wick, we love you, man. It does my heart good to hear that you are bouncing back, doing great. And we were just sharing how Sue's coming out of his problems, and we got nothing but good news about you, and that just totally makes my day, man.
Medical problems, Wick. I'm still mentally disabled.
Yeah. That's it. He's got the VA disabled vet plate to prove it.
You are a mutant. People don't know this, so that you are a mutant.
All right, Wick, you take care, brother.
All right, brother. Bye now.
Yeah, man. All right. Sorry about that. It's Wick. I got to answer it. It was Wick. Guys, Wick was the master assaulter in my company when I was company sergeant major. And Wick is awesome. But the sad part is he's out of military now. So he lives in Nashville. He's a late 50-year-old guy with a Jamaican accent, and nobody wants to give him the time of day. And that is sad because he is 100% an American war hero.
Thank you. Without further ado, we were Carl and I've been driving down the road, and we've been coming up with some more acronyms. And he filled in MACV-SOG for all you guys who don't know what that means. That's military.
Write it down. Email it to me. Just email it. I won't remember that, knuckle nuts. Email it. Take your phone.
Military Assistance Group.
Sue, grab your phone and email it to me because I got Dane Bramage. I got Dane Bramage here. I brought your glasses.
That's your mother-in-law.
Just text it. You look like my mother-in-law with a beard. Doesn't he look like Jesse from Dukes of Hazzard? Uncle Jesse? He just shaved his beard off because it was too white. All right. Hey, guys, I understand the moderators are letting me know that I understand the signal's a little choppy. We're in a hotel room we're outside of Waco, so it's not like this place is awesome internet. I'm doing the best I can. And the only reason why I'm saying that is I apologize for the choppy signal. But if we get cut off, it is what it is, guys. I try to make the best of it. All right. More questions coming in. The Apache Reign of the Bastards. Lieutenant Adu, the Apache Reigns of the Bastards. Question for Sue.
Mhm.
Has he ever made wind calls using naval lint while out on a mission? Naval lint. Have you ever used that naval lint to make wind calls?
No.
By the way, he's being he's being funny.
Yeah.
No,
I
guys.
I don't even know naval what?
Naval lint. It has nothing to do with the Navy. He's
Oh,
talking
naval.
about
Oh,
belly
out
button
of my
lint,
bucket-
dude.
belly
button lint.
Well, no, not really, because I got a lot of hair in my belly button, and it takes a while to get the lint out. You know, so
He keeps a couple of those jelly beans in there for survival purposes.
or if I, you know, that ABC Copenhagen that already been chewed Copenhagen, I put it in my belly button, so I you know, if I run out, I got another dip. An emergency dip.
Oh, that is so wrong. Michael Johnson, question for Carl. Speaking of accuracy, what's the best ways to accurize your large frame AR or make your current large frame AR shoot better? He's talking about an AR-10. Guys, it comes down to barrel. Now, precision comes down to consistency, but consistency can use as much help as it can get. And what I mean by that is a bolt gun will always be more accurate than a gas gun. Why? Well, actually, there's a couple, because people will scream, this gas gun is just as accurate as bolt guns. It's as accurate as some bolt guns, but there are some bolt guns out there that are more accurate. You've got your half MOA gas gun. That's a great gas gun. I'm happy if you're sub MOA. But understand there are some tack driving bolt guns out there. How a bolt gun is more accurate than your gas gun, which is AR-10, that's what he's talking about. There's no moving parts. That firing pin is moving straight forward, and there's no gas system to have to bleed off gas at different rates depending on how much carbon's built up. So there's no gas system on a bolt gun, but also there's no big tomahawk. There's no big catapult of a hammer that's hitting the back of the firing pin. The firing pin is cocked straight back when they charge the bolt gun. When they release that sear, it's just dropping ever so much, and that firing pin is moving in the exact same direction of the bullet. There is no shift left, right, up, or down on a precisely built gun. Sloppy guns, it does move. It really does. You can see by the marks on the primer. So having that minimal movement of the firing pin and gas, number one. But on a gas gun, number one, you've got that big tomahawk, that big moving hammer. When you release the sear, that big hammer comes up and whacks the back of that firing pin. That's a lot of movement that is introduced into the gun. Right now, all guns have that. And you can get different triggers and everything. They break a little cleaner, but it doesn't change the fact that you've got a catapulted hammer swinging forward, a heavy piece of metal swinging and hitting a firing pin. You can't get away from that. So the only real way to make a gas gun more accurate is, and a free floating barrel, all that, blah, 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 that's a given. You put your money into the barrel, because not all barrels are created equal. They're just not. Do you need a heavy barrel? A heavy barrel dissipates heat better, number one. A heavy barrel will support a suppressor better. There's lots of reasons for a heavy barrel, but you can get heavy barrels, you can get medium barrels, you can get light barrels that are more accurate than an identical profile barrel. It comes down to whether the company's putting a lot of love into that barrel, and whether you're proof barrels or what's the other one that Emery was working with? I got it on my TR1. Jen, Proofs Research has good barrels. Helix has good barrels, and then
Rock Creek's
got good barrels.
Very good barrel. The chamber, and now going back to what Carl's doing, you see in a gas gun, you have a gas operating system. You have direct impingement, or you have a short stroke piston. All right, and what I found is in any one of these, if you get a good barrel when you replace a barrel, or when you buy a new gun, look at what kind of barrel the manufacturer's putting on there, and look at that chamber and look at the feed ramp and that stoner design. That's where the point, especially your real pointed projectiles, will have problems getting in that gas gun. It'll jerk into that feed ramp, and it tips the tips ever so lightly, right? And some of the problems they're having now in some of these bullets and these what we call the VLDs or the G9 design, that projectile is
very sharp.
So sharp that if it's hitting in that feed ramp and it's trying to jump over a little lip, trying to get into that chamber, you're automatically taking that tip and you're doing this with it. So
concentricity.
Remember that projectile is what you're sending down range, and that's automatically going to expand your shot group, right?
So the best way,
a good magazine, a good
single
ramp,
shot,
and what you're trying to do. That's where a bolt gun gives you the advantage. It's going to go into that chamber the same way every single time. Where a gas gun, it's got that gas going down there, operates the whole system, and that cartridge going into the chamber might not fit in there the exact same time every time. So that's why you get your bigger shot groups.
And it's not just the chamber. My SR-25, his SR-25s, the Mark 11s we were using in the beginning of Global War on Terror. If we didn't shoot, let's say, you shot a little bit, but all right, we're done. When you'd go to unload that bullet, you pull it out of your chamber, there would always be a scratch on the projectile from the edge of the Reed Knight's Armament magazine. The steel stamp magazines would scratch that soft copper jacket. You understand? That's like basically cutting a line down the side of a football. It's harder for that quarterback to throw it. So it's called concentricity. Having any part of that bullet out of being trued, it'll screw you over. I was actually taught by Mr. White 100 years ago because he used to compete with semi-auto guns. The M21s is what they had. And he taught me, we loaded them the whole time. We shot them one round at a time. We would, every time you shot, the bolt would lock to the rear, and you would put one bullet in, slide it in. And when you hit the bolt release, it would run the bullet in there. That kept the bullet from getting banged on that ramp. It kept the bullet from getting scratched by that magazine. And so I got in the habit of, I would just grab that next bullet out of the cardboard box and I could just throw it. It would go straight into the chamber, let that bolt go forward. And we're using a gas gun, the M21, but we were firing them single shot, and it tightens up your shot groups because you're not damaging your ammo. You're making it more consistent, and you're doing things consistently the same every time. Consistency.
Good question.
All right, we got a couple more. Mike Quigley, I'm sorry I'm not going to be there at Travis's event, dude. When I saw that this was the weekend he was doing it on, I was like, shit, because I went last year. I did. And matter of fact, me and Randy and two other guys we didn't even know, we ended up winning the shoot. I ended up giving the optics away to somebody. But we already did that one. All right. Carl Defense. Home Defense 556223. What do you recommend? The brands, etc. Ammo out there, lots of sexy ammo. But understand, I want you to match it to your mission. Now he said defense, but then he said home defense. To me, those are two different things. Let me give you an example. My truck gun, which is my work gun, basically, it stays in my truck between classes. All my vehicles have got a bandolier of 8 magazines in it. There's 4 pockets on each bandolier. Each pocket will hold 2 AR mags if you take that white string out. I keep M855A1 ammo in there, right? 62 grain ammo. I zero my gun to 62 grain ammo. When I'm teaching classes, except for Carbine Zero Mastery, the rest of our classes, we're not going past 100. I shoot cheap 55 grain in classes. I train with cheap 55 grain or my Mantis Blackbeard dry firing. I move the gun to vehicle to vehicle because I know each vehicle's already got a bandolier in it. And again, you pick what you want. I want the M855A1 ammo, and you can run with green tip. It's easier to get green tip because it's not as good inside the human body. It's not, I'll admit that. It's not as accurate as 77 grain. I got that. But it is more barrier blind and more readily available. My M855A1 will guaranteed get through windshields, guaranteed get through car doors, and still be awesome enough inside the human body. So that's what I use for my truck gun. All right. Now, that is different than home defense. Home defense, if I'm inside my house, am I having to get through, right, the guys in my living room? Do I need to be able to get through car doors and windshields? I do not, right? So at home defense, I run frangible ammo. Or if you can't get your hands on frange, run varmint ammo. Like I like Hornady, it's called VMAX. There's some great VMAX. Again, it's made for groundhogs, but when you shoot, let's say you use it for deer hunting, because I hunt deer with it. I hunt my 308. I hunt with 110 VMAXs, and they hit a white-tailed deer. They go in and immediately blow up like a softball. You don't get any overpension. Now you're losing a lot of meat. I got that. But I don't care. Me hunting is me practicing on mammals to be better at shooting mammals, right? So two-legged mammal. You're not supposed to say that on the internet. They already hate me. So again, if you can't get hold of good tactical frange ammo, I've got plenty of G9. G9 makes great ammo. The Accelerator, it was Norma ammo back in the day. They owned it, but there's good frange ammo out there. If you can't find that, go get yourself some 55 grain. I mentioned Hornady VMAX, but Federal makes similar ammo.
G9,
yeah,
and that's what I've been trying to do for the last couple of years.
G9, I like G9 ammo.
I've been trying to bring in frangible ammunition through Maxim Defense Industries. They're having a hard time. And with this whole brace issue, things are really tight there. So it didn't go on the website. They've got some 9mm up there, pretty expensive stuff in frangible ammunition for home defense. I'm the same way. My pistol I'm carrying right now has frangible 45 in it, back from the RUAG stuff. The G9 does, and you guys need to get on his blog site, but he uses the same projectile I use in trying to develop and come to the commercial market, and it's at a very reasonable price. I think the last time I checked it was like 55 cents, 60 cents a round. You're not going to get any better than that with frangible ammunition, because remember, it's copper powder. There's a lot to go into making that projectile. Mm-hmm. There's no lead in it. The materials are much more expensive, and the molding process it takes longer. So get on there, talk to those boys up at G9, and tell them to keep pumping out that frangible ammunition in 5.56, because he doesn't. I was just up there in Idaho right before SHOT Show, and he doesn't think there's a market for it. And we've been pushing ever since I know Carl, I come back to working with tactical riflemen. We both agree that frangible ammunition is the best home defense weapon.
Yeah. I got another one.
Ammo,
another one here. Doug is wanting to know, hey guys, thank you for your service. Thank you. I appreciate that. What is the best red dot for M18? He's talking about the new SIG pistol that was adopted by the U.S. Army. M17, M18, exact same gun. Now a lot of you guys will say, oh, that's my P320 that I got. It's not. All right. It has an external safety on it. It's made for the military. I'm a big fan of the M18. I am. I like the M18. It's the same. It doesn't matter if you're running a Glock 45, M18, SIG, Smith & Wesson. Doesn't matter. Hands down, the best combat optic for a pistol right now. Hands down. Any manufacturer. It is the 509 with the Vulcan reticle. That is an enclosed emitter with the Vulcan Advanced Combat Sighting System reticle. It is made by Holosum, but it is made exclusively for primary arms. Now, we were just there today And I know I'm not allowed
to
to
come down here early.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about it, so I won't. So you guys don't tell anybody. Don't put this out on the internet, right? But all the other brands, because I talked to them at SHOT Show and everything, EOTech and Trigicon, they're all like, Carl, what do you think? What do you think? I'm like, yeah, it'd be awesome if it had the Vulcan reticle in it. If you heard the Vulcan reticle, and they all hang their heads. Yeah, we've heard it. There's big patent war going on because Primary Arms has multiple patents on the Vulcan reticle. So everybody, the military wants it bad, like to the point where operators are spending their own money because the government won't buy an optic made in China. So they're buying an optic made in China with their own money because, and I want that to sink in, because that's how great that optic with the Vulcan reticle. It has to have an enclosed emitter. Right now, it's only available one. That's it, and that's what is on my M18. It's what's on my G45. It's what's on my Glock 19. It's what it is awesome, but it is called the 509. But don't just get any 509. It has to be the one that has the Vulcan reticle, and it's actually a little bit longer of a housing. The footprint's a little different on it. Now, here's why I say this is important. When you buy that optic, it's only available you got two choices for footprints. One of them is the RMR and the other one is the MOS. One is made for any slide cut for an RMR optic. One is for the Glock MOS system, the Gen 5 MOS. Those are the only two options for plates that they come with. Neither one of those plates will fit your M18. Relax. It's out there. You just can't get it from Primary Arms. I got Pete Jones from Allen's Arsenal. If you put it in Allen's Arsenal, he has a online gun store. He's an old 5th group guy. He has done tactical rifleman videos. Email Pete at Allen's Arsenal. I know it's Pete. Allen is his middle name. He used Allen instead of Pete's Arsenal because Allen A pops up before P in search engines. Pete's a smart cookie.
Like
Pete,
the yellow pages.
Yeah,
you want to be an A.
Exactly. You want to be an A. So Pete got me my plate. Pete got who's that?
Western. I'll answer that one.
Okay. Pete he got Wick his plate. He got Brittany her plate for her M18. So if you're running M18, get the 509 with the Vulcan reticle, available only from Primary Arms. How good is it? Okay, it's so good, guys. I picked up 2 more today. All right, they're super nice guys. I'm like, look, here's the deal. I want to get another one for Wick, and I gave one of mine away to this other instructor down at a training place I can't say, and I took it off my backup work gun.
He's so excited
to this guy.
I'm actually excited about it because I do not run an RMR on any pistol. Don't do it. And because I had my pistol on a belt, I've tried that. I was borrowing somebody else's gun. I'm standing next to a fire, and said, we're out there. It's cold on the range. We go back, and first thing I do is pull up that thing, and I can't find the dot. Well, I got a big old when my instructor was looking at it. It was a whole different course. Wasn't with tactical rifling. He's looking at, you got a piece of ash out here in the emitter. And I was like, okay, take your pistol back. I'm staying with iron sights.
See. You need an enclosed emitter. Now, Primary Arms, if you're watching, again, thank you for having us out today. And I tried to pay for those 2 optics. I was going to buy it for Wick as a gift. And they said, this is the same Wick you told us about, Warwick Marsh, the hero from your unit. I'm like, yeah, I want to buy it for him as a present. And they said, give it to Wick as a present from us. Tell him we said thank you for his service. So, anyways, Primary Arms is awesome. Now, here's the part that I'm not allowed to. So don't tell anybody on the internet. The only gripe with this is it's Chinese made, right? But you understand that's the only place they can get it right now. The only people that can make it is China. Nobody else can make it. Nobody else can do it. So, but that's my gripe. But that's the military's gripe. We need one that is made in America.
A long time ago on
the
Berry Amendment.
Yeah, I'm pissed that people didn't do it already. Let's just say I had the opportunity to see some prototypes today, and we are hoping in the near future, and it's badass. It's so you guys are gonna love it. You're gonna love it. But for right now, you go ahead with your with a
Can I
509.
jump on that?
Yeah, go ahead,
Someone
man.
up there?
Yep.
One of the guys was asking about tick, and I'm sure any of you guys live on the Eastern Seaboard, you're seeing a lot of ticks this year. I've seen a bunch of them, and I've been getting out there, getting better. I've been spending a lot of time outside. Carl and I had this conversation coming down here to Texas, and what we used to do to keep the bugs off us. You know, I'm from out west. We did a lot of time. You know, most of our military careers are on the Eastern Seaboard, where I'm not used to ticks and chiggers and all this kind of stuff out in the Rocky Mountains, right? So we're like, hey, we had this old tick and chiggaway. Chiggaway is not even allowed to be sold anymore. It was a carcinogenic.
Pure carcinogen. Don't put that stuff on your body. And we used to just lather up with it. We didn't know any better.
Yeah, but there is an old technique to keep these ticks and these chiggers off of you, but it's not allowed to be sold in the drugstores anymore. It used to be a big bottle. You could go in there and buy a big bottle of sulfur, and right next to it, you go down the road and get your baby powder. And we'd mix them half and half, and we'd usually pass them out to each other. And then when we're laying out there doing our recons or whatever, we drop our pants once a day and just start pouring that stuff on us. You smell like a blown inner tube, you know, and you dump it all over your body. But the chicks and tiggers didn't touch you. Right, and mosquitoes wouldn't even hardly come in. It's a great home remedy for a lot of heavy infestations of these insects this year. The only place you can find that pure sulfur though is you got to go to the nursery where they sell the sulfur. You can put it,
planting nursery, not nursery at the hospital.
Yeah, you go to the nursery where you buy these bags. It's sulfur.
Flower nursery.
You put it around the rose bushes and stuff like that to keep the insects off. But you have to mix it with baby powder. It will burn your skin if you don't cut it down a little bit.
Shouldn't be doing
so act like a bunch of drug dealers. Get your little credit cards out and cut the stuff up. Make it nice and fine with the baby powder. And put it back in half and half. You should be fine. All
right, we got another one here from Without Further Ado. Your mom named you weird as shit, dude. All right, question: is it true that the Maw Deuce has a cyclet rate so slow it can be fired one shot at a time? Actually, you can fire a Maw Deuce single shot. You can put it on single shot. But that said, the rate of fire on it, and you can adjust headspace and timing on it. You can know that you can make it run faster or slower. But if you get a good machine gunner, even the old M60s, you could, and what I'm talking about, like the modern 240s back in the day, we were doing it with the M60s. A good machine gunner could finesse that trigger well enough that he could get single shots, because their qualification for the machine gunners was a paper target about this big at 25 yards. And it had like all these little targets that they had to shoot. And it's designed for you to shoot a burst of rounds, but you would get a higher score if you could go one round at a time. And I knew I couldn't do it, but there were machine gunners that even with a 7.62 machine gun could finesse single shots. Now, the Maw Deuce, for sure, I have seen guys fire a single shot with a Maw Deuce. He went on to say something about that he had seen, I recall an article in Soldier of Fortune claiming that they set up the M2 on trails in Vietnam. Guys, they would set up a little bit of everything.
That goes back to the Carlos Hathcock story.
Yeah.
He was actually citing that thing in, there's a story from the Korean War where they're actually citing the Maw Deuce in. They saw an instructor, and that was supposedly in their era was the longest sniper shot. It was done with a Maw Deuce when they were putting a sighting scope on the side of it. So,
what's it called?
I remember
93 confirmed kills. Gunny Hathcock. He held like the record forever for most confirmed kills, Vietnam era. Now it's Chuck Mulvaney. Yeah,
Chuck Mulvaney had 103.
Yeah. old Marine, but he had basically just playing with the Ma Deuce at one of the camps. He was zeroing it on a hill, a little hill on the other side of the valley. There was a little, probably one of the happy mounds was a grave or something, but he had just been literally zeroing it on that little hill out there, just messing around, and was just happened to be hanging out. And then he looked, what is that? He looked through the scope, and it was a no shit North Vietnamese pushing a bicycle just completely loaded down with war supplies. So he popped, I think this, and I don't, correct me if I'm wrong. The book, I read it 100 years ago, popped one round, it hit the bicycle, and the guy, instead of running away, didn't know what it was because the bullet came from so far away, basically started doing this. He ended up hitting him with the second bullet. You understand, a mile is a long ways away, guys, a long ways away. More good questions coming in. All right. Daddy-O 1021. Western Kentucky is not messing around when it comes to ticks this year. Any advice? All right, that's the one that he just did. Okay. Cool. All right. Next one. Piet me. Carl, where can I get your cap? Guys, I get my caps from ATS Tactical Gear. But these patches, you attend one of my classes, I give you one of my patches. I give you a Tactical Rifleman sticker, and free of charge. You just show up. I guess it's part of your tuition. You get a T-shirt that says, let's say you take pistol carbine course. The back of your shirt will say pistol carbine course. You can't buy those shirts online. Now, you can buy the patch if you go to tacticalgearjunkie.com. They're actually the guys that make my patches for me. We thought about selling them, but just the cost of an envelope and the time. I have guys that walk up to me at SHOT Show or the NRA show or in Lowe's or at a restaurant. Hey, Carl, I love your videos. Okay, cool. That's a little random, but I appreciate support. And I will give them the patch off of my hat. And when I get home, I put a new patch on it. And I do. Please, guys, do not think, or gals, please do not think that I am unapproachable. I'm a very, very nice guy, easy to get along with. And come up, say hi to me.
Unless you're in the left lane, hard in the left lane. When we're going
easy now. All right. Okay. That's that one. Oh. All right. I got to ask Carl, why don't you do hats? Well, one, hats are $10 a pop. And I'm not a hat guy. You guys see me wearing this hat all the time because this is part of my uniform. This is, if you work at Johnson Control, you wear the Johnson Control uniform. I am helping to promote my brand. So this is what I wear when I'm on live stream, stuff like that. When you're touring the Primary Arms Factory, this is what I wore today. Guys, yesterday when we drove here, I had on that, and I had on a button-up short-sleeve Merrill shirt that easily clears my pistol if I had to draw real quick. That's basically what I wore. We
tried to do a questions and answers, and he had to go change his shirt because I had a similar shirt on,
and we
look like we
look like a gay couple, and
we
we're
look like
not.
we just came off of a rerun of Hee Haw.
Yeah,
we look like we just left Western Kentucky.
All right, James Whitaker. Hey, Carl, question. I have a Canic double action and plan to purchase another Canic with slide cuts for optics for use as combat weapon, barrel options 4.46 or 5.2. Any real advantages to the longer barrel? Nope, not at all. Understand the advantages of a longer barrel on a pistol, or basically any firearm at all, twofold. The longer the barrel, the more dwell time that the bullet is inside the barrel, the more chamber pressure can build up to push the bullet faster, because it's constantly speeding up But as soon as it gets to the end of the barrel, pop, all the gas explodes behind it, and the bullet is done speeding up. Whatever speed it left your barrel, that's all you're getting. And that's why the guys that are running the short ARs with the 5-inch barrels, they look sexy on the range because they've got this big, huge fireball, boom, 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 and it looks sexy. You understand that fireball is wasted gunpowder. You're losing your night vision, and you're
only getting half your muzzle velocity.
Yeah, your bullet is not going. You might as well be shooting the guy with 22 long rifle, because you're shooting a 223 projectile, 22 long rifle, but it's not going 3,000 feet per second. It's going the same speed as your 22 long rifle. So you might as 9 mil does more damage than those short ARs with those big fireballs. Right. Same thing with a pistol, but your pistol powders, you don't need it longer. So you changing a couple inches, you're going to get a little more muzzle velocity, but not enough to get the secondary cavitation, number one. So length for muzzle velocity does not matter from the two that you listed. The other thing on a pistol is, or even a rifle, the further apart your sights are, the more accurate it is. It does not make the barrel more accurate, but it makes you, the monkey behind the gun, it makes you more accurate. And here's why. Remember, if those sights are off a little bit left, right, up, or down, we say equal height, equal light. If you are off slightly to the left, that medical measurement, cunt hair, if you are one cunt hair off to the left, yeah, and with a K, starts with a K. If you're just a little bit off to the left and your sights are 6 inches apart, every 6 inches it doubles. Okay, you add another width of it. Your 1K, 2Ks, 3K, 4K. How many 6 inches are between you and that 10-meter target? Right, 30 feet. You got to double that again, 6. Right, you've got 60 sight radiuses. Now, if you've got a rifle, for easy math, we'll say a 3 foot or 1 meter sight radius. Okay, if you're 10 meters away, that's only 10, 1K, 2Ks, 3Ks. So your difference is longer sight radius. There are pistols with longer slides on them that are better for target shooters. But for a combat gun, nah, it doesn't matter. Your barrel being this long or this long really doesn't matter at all. Remember, I used to compete with a Glock 34, which is the long slide. It is better for long range shooting.
Love it.
Is it better for 100-meter shots than my Glock 45? It is. I will be the first to admit that. But I can clear the holster faster with my Glock 45 has the same length barrel as a Glock 19. Shorter barrel, it clears my holster faster than my Glock 34. Can I make 100-meter shots with my G45? Yeah, ask guys at class. Well, they're shooting two hands. The final drill of the day we do is called Final Five. I will do strong hand at 20 yards. I'll do support hand at 30. I'll go back strong hand 40, support hand 50. And guys, you understand, I'm usually standing next to the last student who then becomes the high shooter because he beat all the rest of the students. They're allowed to shoot. Now, understand, I do this a lot. This is what I do for a living. And I'm not bragging, but what I'm saying is I'm doing this with a short sight radius. And if I can do it with a short sight radius, so can you. So yeah, run any barrel length you want, guys. But again, we're just saying this to give you a more educated decision. Make your decision the way you want. Just try to make it an educated one.
I'm not the monkey behind the gun.
You're the mammal behind the gun.
I'm Ginger. That makes me a orangutan behind the gun.
The orangutan behind the gun. All right. Next one is from Phelan Precision LLC. Tell Sue he left a can of dip in Emery's truck. Does he want it back? Guys, we got Jason Phelan, our Navy SEAL, and Emery Morgenstern, International Man of Mystery. there watching the live stream. That's
And the
totally
Waffle
badass.
Commando.
Yeah. Hey, Jason, how you doing, brother? Jason Finland has already said he's going to come back this July, do a couple more Tactical Rifleman videos with us. We are, Emery and Sue and I are putting together a pretty robust list of videos that we want to do. I'm trying to get my knee replaced early June, so I will be there at the videos, but I'm not doing any. There's not going to be a lot of running and gunning.
With Emery during my recovery. Yeah. I was his crash test dummy as he's doing an aggressive driving course. I can't wait for you guys to see some of his B-roll or some of his films that he's got. We had a good time.
Jason, we miss you, buddy.
To piss off Emery. It was I enjoy pissing off Emery.
We love pissing off him. All right. Kelsey Dotson. Question will Sue be participating in the low light, no light class in July?
Probably not.
No, Sue's not invited. Guys, understand, I want all my instructors there, but I can only afford to pay so many instructors. I will do maximum 5 students per instructor. Certain classes it goes down, but I don't like going over 1 to 5. For that course, I'm going to have 3 instructors there, and we're maxing it at 9, maybe 10 students, and that's because it is all done in the dark. It's 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 p.m. But we're indoors. We're able to kill the lights.
And you got to remember, guys, that to bring you a variety of skills, guys like me and Randy and
yeah, I got to bring subject matter experts.
And even Emery, we got to go out and do other things, and to keep our skills up so we can bring it back to tactical riflemen, so there's
Sue is the other cool part though. A lot of you guys know Sue is like one of the best survival tracking instructors out there. We're trying to work a thing out with Angry American and his big reach into the prepper preparedness homesteader world, and we're going to look at putting more and more survival classes out there on our calendar, because I know you guys are screaming for Randy Worst to do survival courses. He hasn't found the property to do his worst case scenario survival school. I'm like, okay, Randy, so you can't do that 3-day course the way you want to do it, total immersion. That doesn't mean you can't teach 1 day or maybe 2-day or half-day survival classes. So we're going to get Randy to start doing more survival, but he's already agreed to start doing some tracking videos. Guys, tracking is such a great, great skill to have in your wheelhouse, without a doubt. All right. Cash Me Outside is back. Are the slides interchangeable on Canic models? I have one with a decocker, but I like to put a red dot on it. Here's the deal. I have zero experience with Canics other than like test firing them at certain firearm presentations and test ranges and evaluation things. I tested a couple Canics, wrote up some notes on it, but I don't have enough rounds through a Canic to give you a personal opinion. One thing I will say though is if you don't have an optic, a slide on your optic that is already cut, I used to not recommend you send your slide to get it cut by somebody, because a lot of guys weren't getting good reviews. Well, I finally found a company that mills slides and does a insanely great job. So if you have and this goes for all you guys, not just the Canics, if you've got a SIG or a Glock or a Smith & Wesson or Canic, and it's not cut for an optic, you want to get it cut for an optic. There's a company called Danger Close Armament, and pull up their website, get the phone number, call the guy, and tell them Carl from Tactical Rifleman sent you. They can put all the holes in the slides and stuff if you want. That's not me. I don't want holes in the slide, because that's how belly button lint and mud and stuff get in there, which induces malfunctions.
Copenhagen.
Yeah, Copenhagen. So I had them cut the slide nice and pretty, but I didn't have any holes going all the way through. I allowed them the chance to show off how fancy they can do stuff. It's a beautiful slide. I have had nothing but great experiences with it. And what I did, I haven't cut my Glock 43X. That's not a 43X MOS, but I had them cut my 43X for a 507K. That's the small optic that, again, has the Vulcan reticle in it. They do a great, great job. They don't cost. It was reasonable enough for me anyways. So decent stuff, but I'm not 100% up on my Canic. I couldn't tell you one way or the other. All right, next one is Harry Paratestes. Harry Paratestes.
Harry Paratestes.
Seriously, guys, you understand you're typing this on the internet. This is a historical document. Your grandkids could possibly be watching this, 20 years from now.
They did that on purpose.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
I love you guys.
We got Kirk Lazarus and Ray Craddock has got like 12 different accounts. He's awesome. All right. There's no telling. All right.
I'm going to plagiarize that one.
What's your biggest piece of advice for someone wanting to go through the 18 X-ray program? Number one, set a goal. If that's your goal, never quit. Don't quit. But don't just look at the basics requirements. For example, your basic requirement, I want to say it's like 55 push-ups or something like that. Brother, if you can't do 90 push-ups, you don't even need to try. Right. The time, I think the standard is 17 minutes on the 2-mile run. If you can't do a 14-mile run, you don't even try. And here's an example. When I retired, remember, I retired as a crusty old sergeant major. My last PT test, I had a 12:35 on my last 2-mile run. I could do all the push-ups, all the sit-ups, all the pull-ups. And because that's regular Army standard, and regular Army standard is a full-blown joke. It is a joke, right? Just passing the standard to get through the door, understand that they're looking for reasons to cut you away. You need to be a team player. You need to be the gray man in the back of the class.
Can I have a minute on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
This was a subject when I was working at the staff at the 1st Special Forces Command. They brought me in to follow a hero, and we just lost him, Billy Waugh. Billy Waugh was kind of like John Mullins. He was a sergeant major, retired in Vietnam, and we would give speeches to the 18 X-ray program. And I got real close to it. My former team leader from 535, right after I left A15, he's up there recruiting command. We get in arguments about this all the time.
Michael Hanley.
Not my team leader. My team.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Captain
team
Hill,
sergeant.
who's now Brigadier General Hill, and he's with recruiting command now. But and this, I'd sit there at the command. I'd watch these ratios under the 18 X-ray program. You got to remember, only 5% of the guys that join the 18 X-ray program ever make it to the end of the Q course. 5%. 95% of those guys that get recruited into them, they go into the other parts of the Army. Both of my sons joined the 18 X-ray program. One is in the Rangers, one is in the all right. Your chances of getting through there, in my opinion, and I told this to my former team leader, I wanted them to tell recruiting command to stop waiving the age. The 18 X-ray program, what originally started out was 24 years of age.
They want you to be mature.
The original idea of the 18 X-ray program was to get those guys who have a little bit of other experience in the Army, want to come serve in the Army, but you don't want to start out in all these units and do 4 years in another unit. You could come straight into Special Forces if you had some other life talents in the Army, like a college degree, a foreign language, a certain skill set that would carry you on above not only the physical standard, the PT standards, but you could show some maturity and some experience. I saw so many of those kids come in there, and the son that's in the Rangers now, Logan, he made it all the way through selection, and the hardest part of it, 19 years old, all the more experience.
Yeah, a little more maturity.
He didn't do nothing wrong. The other son stepped in a hole and broke his leg, medical, rode crutches for 7 months. They changed his MOS. He didn't even go back to the infantry. They made him a rigger, and now he's miserable packing parachutes.
Remember, Sue mentioned 24 years old. Okay, when I went in,
that was the original standard of the 18 X-ray program. If you're not 24 years old or older, I would suggest that you might want to do like Carl and I did and start out in the infantry or go to the Rangers or something like that. Learn something else and work your way in, and then come into the Special Forces program.
I wanted to be a Green Beret, right? Ever since junior high school, that was my end goal. Back then, you couldn't go straight in as a Green Beret. I had to.
There was
you had
no
to be E5. You had to be a sergeant first. Okay. Well, the recruiter, they're like, look, you've scored high enough on these tests. You can do this job. You can do this job. This job's easy. This one pays this huge bonus to go in. I'm like, no, I want infantry. And he's like, why? You could, all the knuckle draggers, when I can't get them a real job because they're too stupid, I put them into infantry. If they're really stupid, they go artillery. If you make artillery guys look like Einstein, you go be a cook. That's just, you understand, there are scores on the test. He said you could basically do anything in the Army. I specifically picked infantry because I wanted to be a good Green Beret down the road. I want to be good at tactics. The Special Forces will teach you your job. They're going to teach you your job as a Green Beret. But the cool part is everybody on the A team comes from somewhere else, and they're bringing all that great information to the A team. They all have those different experiences. So I chose infantry to do that. Okay, cool. I had other guys on my A team that were engineers or diesel mechanics and things like that. So when our Humvees broke down in the middle of the desert, we didn't have to call for a mechanic because one of my engineers used to be a diesel engine mechanic. When my commo guy was sick and the other commo guy got left behind because he was in school, who's going to run the radios? Well, I grew up in a recon platoon, could run the radios. One of the other engineers used to be Lurs D for 18th Airborne Corps. He could run the radios. We brought experience with us. Now, I finally ended up going Green Beret at 24 years old. I was not mature enough, not even close when I was 26. When I was 17. I joined the Army when I was 17. I was a juvenile delinquent. I should have been thrown in prison or a shallow grave out in the woods somewhere. That was the main focus when I gave that speech to the 18 X-rays. I told them straight, when you go into this 3-week selection, the main thing they're looking for is maturity. Will you make the right decision when you think nobody else is looking? And during selection, somebody's always looking, okay, and watching you, right? Now, Harry, if you're young and 19, and I'm not here to discourage you, I'm not trying to tell you not to do it, but if you have, I have seen guys that 19 years old come to an ODA, and we can't even buy them a drink in a bar yet. Yeah. But they bring their like Harry Potter. That was my nickname for him. But his name's Alex Villamosa, great 18 Delta, super smart kid. But he spoke and wrote fluent Russian. Okay, there's a lot of kids like that. They bring other skills in there, and they make it. And some of them made some damn good team sergeants now. But that other experience that Carl's talking about, it also helps you get well-rounded as a leader, right? Yeah. Because remember, when you go to ODA, there are no privates. You're a buck sergeant. By the time you get to a Green Beret team, you're already a sergeant. Spend some time around other sergeants, see how leadership works, and to be a good leader, first you have to be a good follower. By the way, we call it MTO, but basically the way the military lays out the equipment on a team, personnel are equipment, by the way. You get one captain, one master sergeant, one warrant officer, and then you get 2 engineers, 2 commo guys, 2 weapons guys, 2 medics, 1 Fox, right? The lowest one of those is an E7 billet, The other one is an E6 billet. There are no E5 slots, no sergeant slots on an A team. So you showing up there as an E5,
You are
okay,
the private.
You're E5, but you understand you're already filling a slot for a staff sergeant. But to all the guys in the company, you're freaking worthless because you're not even a private. You're a brand new engineer to the company, brand new medic to the company. He at least has 4 years in the Army. You don't know snot. You've been nothing but to school.
The craziest thing.
That's crazy.
Those 18 X-rays we got 3 of them on my team in
go infantry
in
first. Go infantry.
We came back to the States. They didn't even know how to fill out a leave form to take them off leave, right? But there is one thing I'll caveat onto that, and I'm not trying to discourage you or anything like that, but if you're trying to get out of all the sucky duties that you would serve in another unit, being a private, remember on an A team, and even Carl and I were senior E7s, and in A15 we had the worst latrine in Fort Campbell.
Yeah,
that thing
awesome.
Overflooded and everything. Who do you think the privates were that had to go grab the mop buckets? Even though we had 2 rockers under our stripes, we had to go push the turds into the bucket and figure out how to clean, because we didn't have any privates. I've
watched sergeant majors pulling weeds out of the sidewalk, and it's
so you're not getting out of all the nasty details just because you come to Special Forces.
Charles Blood, who's come to a bunch of our classes. Howdy, Carl. Do you have any experience or an opinion on Diamondback AR rifles? Yeah, Diamondback's a good company. Honest guys, I don't really say one brand is the best. Diamondback is a good company. They make good guns. They do. Would I say they're better than some? Yeah. Are they the best? No, but the ones that I would say are the best, a lot of their guns aren't any better than a lot of the ones that Diamondback makes. Diamondback makes good. Next one, Catch Me Outside. Any stories about Serb snipers in Kosovo? I don't have any. I don't.
I got some in Sarajevo.
I got caught up. Susan is, wow, we are already at 2.5 hours, guys. I'll tell you what. Yeah.
Hey, can somebody check on the History Channel and see if they found the gold on Oak Island? Did they find that treasure on Oak Island? It's Tuesday night.
All right, guys. Emery just text me. He says, just a shout out on the live stream to tell people about it. I've set it up already on my channel. What he's talking about, guys, is Carl, could you do me a favor, please? Jason and I set up a live stream for Thursday at 1800 Central. I'll send you a link when we're done training. Emery and Jason Phelan, they're down at Tier 1 group right now. They're running a driving class, tactical driving, and they're doing the night drive tonight. I don't know if I assume, does Emery even have a YouTube channel? He might be doing it for his patrons. I don't know.
On his Patreon.
Patreon. Yeah. All right. So if you're one of Emery's patrons, he's going to be doing a live stream Thursday night.
Another acronym, FNG.
Here you go. FNG. Freaking new guy. It'll be Thursday, 6 p.m. Central Time. Emery, Jason, if you're still watching, we will try to make it. But Thursday night, Thursday afternoon, because you understand the sun is still up here at 6 p.m. I'm very big on guys training to standard. So I have so much that I want to teach. I'm not one of those instructors that says, hey, we just hit 4 p.m. We'll see you guys tomorrow. That's not me. We're going to train till you guys can't train anymore. So we might be done by 6 p.m., but maybe could happen. Of course, then we'll probably be going out to dinner. We'll see. We might make it. .com. I see Manny. All right, good stuff. All right, guys, here's the deal. We're going to wrap this up. Why? Because I've got to be on the podium tomorrow morning, and we've got a ways to go. I've got a lot to do tonight to get ready for tomorrow's class. All right, so I want to give a big shout out to, again, thank my my moderators for all the hard work that they do putting this together for me, my son for all of the work behind the scenes that he does, the thumbnails, and even when I'm running this off of my laptop, he still makes sure that all my stuff works. But I want to give a shout out to our tonight's sponsor again, USCCA, United States Concealed Carry Associations. Good stuff, guys. If you are interested in signing up, right, so you can become that prepared protector that you need to be with a USCCA membership, again, you can go right underneath this video in the description. I have a referral link there, USCCApartners.com/tactical rifleman. Just click on it. All right. Click on it. Go there. I'm not saying you got to sign up. Check them out. All right. If this is what you want to do, this is one of the better companies out there. U.S. Law Shield's another good one. I personally prefer USCCA. That's just me. You do what you want to do. But by you even just clicking and checking them out, that is showing support for my sponsors. They're supporting me. I ask that you guys support them. So, yeah, decent stuff indeed. And, yeah, I'll tell you what, next week I am back in town. My studio, I will have, hopefully Steve Holland can make it in. I have got a lot on my plate. And, but I'm going to look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday. It's going to be decent. I'm sorry I don't have all the fancy explosions and graphics, and but we're on the road, and I didn't want to leave you guys without a live stream this week. So I've enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Sue, I enjoyed. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you in the morning. We'll knock out some coffee, and then we'll go set up the sniper range. We got to be in the classroom by 7.
Well, what time we got to get up?
Easy. Don't spoil it for them. Hey, guys, we'll see y'all later. Y'all take care and shoot straight.